Raise your hand if you've ever been busy. Raise your hand if you've ever got tired and feel like you just need a couple days off. Most people would have both hands up right now. That's our world, fast-paced and income-driven. That's why we get caught up in our own lives so often, and that's why it's understandable when most people don't focus on worries that aren't their own. So what makes someone become a humanitarian? Someone whose whole life focuses on the welfare of other humans.
When you go back and you see kids that were living on the streets, kids had no structure, they had no routine, people who had nothing, they didn't have meals. When you see that they're all of a sudden they're waking up, they have structure, they have something to do, they have a meal in their belly, their life changes completely. They like I said, their self-esteem changes, their self-worth, their ability to know who they are in the world and what they have the potential of becoming, you know, to give that hope, to give that dream, and then to watch people actually use that to do good for themselves and others it's amazing. It becomes an addiction.
And with Serena's help, we'll find the meaning of life to a humanitarian.
Good morning, Miss Barbara. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Queen Barbara. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing really well. I'm really excited about the show today. You know what? So often we feel out of alignment. We just feel like we're just kind of not quite there. You are going to love our guest that's coming on today.
Well, the uniqueness I already see how wonderful guest is. Her name. It's Jacqueline. Jacqueline. And she doesn't have a last name. She said legally, that's her name.
That's her name. Isn't that a cool thing? That's what I said. So anyways.
Yeah. that makes her unique. And well, a lot of think about it, all the celebrities, you know,
Yeah,
sometimes
Cher.
one name, Cher and
Cher.
Beyonce and
Yeah.
Rihanna, and you know, it's just a lot of people. They just say this is my name,
This
and it
is your
lights
name.
up. So I
Exactly.
had to give it to her. Plus, it's special because my middle name is Jacqueline. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Oh, I don't think I knew that the J was for.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
my middle name is Barbara.
So it's Barbara?
No, my first name is Ada.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
So you
'Cause
did. So what
my
happened? You didn't want Ada. You just said you wanted.
no, it's a family thing. Like my mom was L. Doris, my dad was R. Malcolm. We were all called by our second names. It's like J. Edgar
Oh,
Hoover.
yeah,
It was, yeah.
that's cool. See,
Yeah,
the things that we find out about each other still.
we know about each other. We
Okay.
know.
Well, I'm glad. You know what? I'm kind of glad you go by Barbara because that makes me feel good because we both have the same. You know, we go.
Exactly. We're the BBs. I mean, and we have been really. And it was like we were dubbed the BBs.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
It works.
It's funny because now I don't even say Barbara. I mean, when people say, "Well, what show is on Tuesday?" Oh, Time to Shine with the BBs, and they're like, "Oh, okay, the BBs."
And okay, I'm going to brag on my other half of the BB.
Uh-oh.
We have now gone from the beginning layers of E360 TV is that now we have, and it was because of Barb's absolute leadership and work and behind the scenes stuff. So kudos
Wow.
that we have gone up to the next level of on E360 TV.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Barbara? First of all, thank you, lady, so much. But it takes a team. If it wasn't for you being the brilliant person you are and making this show pop, especially with the guests that we have on, and just us as a team. That's why I said it's a team. See, this is a good kind of segue into understanding that, you know, having a team, dealing with people with like-mindedness works. It really does.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, and that's exactly what it is, that we get by with a little help from our friends.
I like that song too.
Exactly. And I mean, it is true. It is absolutely the truth. So, okay. So we have to celebrate today.
Okay. What's the day? And don't say what year, because I like to guess that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. True. But today is Fat Tuesday.
Oh God. Well, that's every almost day for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now until I lose.
You know, because this is Shrove Tuesday or Mardi Gras. However, because Mardi Gras is Fat Tuesday in French. Anyways, it's the last day of Carnival. You know, they've been carnivaling, and you know, and in some ways, Carnival has got like such a bad name that it's just gone this wild and just demonic and all that kind of stuff. But before that, I mean, this was the day before Ash Wednesday, and there actually was a practical route to it.
Okay.
Because in the calendar that, you know, the Lent is 40 days. Well, one of the things that they did was it was a practical reason that they wanted to use up all of the food that they had, that rather than spoiling it, it became like a big party. That's actually has it originally started, it was a practical reason to use up all the food that would not be consumed for the next 40 days.
Okay, so that's why they call it Fat Tuesday.
It was Fat Tuesday.
They're trying to eat all the food that to make sure it doesn't go.
Yeah, I mean, but it started way back in Rome. I mean, it was a pagan thing. way back in the day. But of course, you know, people, you know, when cultures come together, sometimes they collide, sometimes they amalgamate. Well, so some of that pagan festival kind of thing kind of got part of the Lenten preparations. It was like, oh, that would be a great way to get rid of all the food.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, it was just, but what me growing up, it was we knew it was Shrove Tuesday, and we called it Shrove Tuesday, and we knew it was the day before Lent, because heaven forbid we all had to give up, we all gave up something. But
Yeah.
back as a kid, it wasn't a religious practice. It was just, okay, we were told you have to give up something for Lent because it was the thing to do.
Yeah.
Not because of anything the spiritual practice of gaining something from it, gaining wisdom, and substituting, and just the sacrifice that Jesus gave for us and all that. We were just, all right, we have to give up. One year I remember giving up sugar in my tea, giving up chocolate, all of those things that now I look back and go, oh, superficial, Barbara. So now it's like, but last year I gave up TV.
Okay.
And that, I mean, that's, yeah, you know me. I'm a Netflix girl.
I know you were like, oh no.
Yeah, so it doesn't. So, but it's why I think what is if you are going to give up something for Lent, absolutely, it does commemorate the season. However, don't just give it up just to give it up.
Yeah.
And so often we do things. This is one of my teaching things, I guess. So often we do things just because we're doing them with no thought behind it, no intention behind it, no expectation behind it. And then all of a sudden we're like, well, why didn't that work?
Yeah.
Well, why were you doing it in the first place?
Yeah. What was the motive in the first?
What was the motive in the first place? What preparations did you make to do it? Those kinds of things. And what intention, what good was going to come out of it? Like, what was the long-term gain that you were going to make because of this, whatever this was? I mean, and it's different for everybody. It doesn't necessarily mean it's something that you are giving up. Maybe it's something that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Why are you doing it? I've been faced with that a few times, and going, why am I having so much trouble with this? And then, of course, the voice in my head going, well, because you're not supposed to be doing it in the first place. Learning moment. And we've all done it. So, that's a big, the 4 steps of doing anything or giving up something. Why do you want to give it up?
Yeah.
Is this toxic? What's your intention behind giving it up? How is it going to impact the people around you by you giving it up?
Yes.
But sometimes that can be part of our schedule too. Are you doing stuff that you're not supposed to be, that are things on your schedule that are not supposed to be on your schedule?
Oh yes. I've been learning a lot. And I've been really, this year, I've been really looking at that closely, because that makes the boundaries. And see, some people look at boundaries and say, oh, that's a negative. Don't say, I said, no, that's a positive.
That's a positive thing.
You can get things done, because like you just said, Barbara, you're putting stuff on your calendar or what have you, that probably is not going towards your goal.
Your long-term. Right.
And you started doing the squirrel moment. Squirrel over here, squirrel. And then next
or
thing
shiny object.
Or shiny object with a squirrel, mentality, as I say. Right. And then you're not getting anything done. So I don't mind, like you said, Barbara, I do the same thing like you do. I put everything on my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, then it's not going to happen. I live by my calendar now, because I make sure that I'm putting self-care in there, plus everything that I need to do towards what I need to move towards.
Right. Yeah. And the self-care and downtime. Free time must be on your calendar. Free time. I put crochet, and I have to admit, the last couple of weeks I've been, because there are seasons too. So like right now we're doing this big event on Thursday, so we've been working diligently towards it, and we're having people coming and all that kind of stuff. So yes, that's a season. But now, so my crochet time has kind of taken a little bit of a back seat. However, but next week, now we've got so many of our ducks in a row that it's just going to be evergreen. We're going to be able to use it quite often. And so now it'll be okay. Like now I'm back to taking my crochet time. I listen to music or whatever. And so that's very cool.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you have certain And you even plan out for that. Like you just
Yes.
said, you had this special event coming up this week.
Right.
And you
And
planned
plan
out for that. So you know that some
Plan for
things is going to be changed up
Right.
in your scheduling. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And
okay.
it's
But when
the
you got
temporary.
stuff that just pops up and you be like, this don't have anything to do. And now I'm putting myself back a few days or whatever because I just did something that really shouldn't have been done right this second or whatever.
Right. Or that somebody else has said, oh, because no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
Just because somebody asks you to do something doesn't mean you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day, in fact, I think I was doing a little talk on one of the things with you, and I can't remember now who it was. She said, oh, I can do that. It was like, yeah, you can say no.
Yeah.
You don't have, just because somebody asks you to do something does not mean you have to say yes. Or you can say not right now. Absolutely.
Well, let me look at my schedule. But a lot of people, I think what it is, and I have to go by my, before mentality, before I said no is a complete sentence, is that I think people tend, and myself, I was feeling this way of feeling guilty.
Right.
I had this guilt already. It seemed like guilt was on my back. Like, okay, Bar, if you say no, they might, think this way. They might get upset. All that stuff started coming up.
Yeah, they're not going to like me.
Let that go. Yeah, I had to let that go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
so that's our little learning lesson for right at this moment. Yeah. So, are you ready for a term?
Yes.
Okay. Rub the wrong way.
Okay, this is interesting. So, do you have like the year when it was all that too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay.
So, what's the connotation that you bring to it, and why do you think what it is?
Well, usually when I hear people say the saying "rub me," or was it "rub you the wrong way"?
Right. Rub you the wrong way.
They did something that wasn't, that you're not happy about.
Yeah.
Or you get upset about.
Just going against the grain kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, that really disturbed me or something like that,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guess where it came from? Okay, so first a year.
Ask. I'm scared to ask Barbara because I feel like it's some way.
This is sort of maybe recenter.
So what year? Okay, let me see. I like guessing the years. 1920.
Well, but 100 years too late.
Oh. Well, I thought you were going to say maybe a few more
years. You knew it was back there. Mm-hmm. But the origin of it refers to a cat. And it was written in a book called Aunt Mary's Tales in 1819, and she did this whole book on cats. That's why, like, if you are a cat owner, which I'm surprised Tripod's not here, but we always pet with the fur.
Yeah,
you just automatically do that.
Mm-hmm.
Cats don't like it when you go backwards.
Oh, yeah.
So the cats would, when you go backwards again, even inadvertently, they'll dig in their claws.
They might bite you too.
or they'll turn and they'll bite you because they don't like it. And so that's where it came from, that, it just rubs me the wrong way. It's like somebody going backwards against your, like a cat's fur. But that's where it came from. And I was like, and we're still using it. And it was from a book in the 1800s.
See, that's what see, that's why I'm loving how we're bringing up these different sayings and where they're coming from. Because I would have never thought about a cat with that. Never.
No.
Never.
And yet we still use it. We still know what it means. And so when have we done that to other things? That we use it, we do it, have no idea the origin, and yet we within ourselves are still doing something. Why do I do that?
Well, okay, just like this, Barbara, I'm still nervous about walking on a crack because they say break your mother's back.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, okay, I don't want to walk on no cracks. Well, my mother, rest her soul, she's passed away now.
Right.
But I mean, at the time, I would never want to do that because I didn't want to have nothing happen to her.
Exactly.
But
and I can remember doing that. It was like, oh, brother.
You were like, I don't want to go around. Or what's the thing about the tree? Don't go, like if you two are walking together, if a tree, there's someone in the middle, they always say, don't don't split the tree, don't split
Don't
yourself up.
don't
So some
split-
people go right back around and say, oh, I went around the tree. I got to go back around the tree because it split us. And I don't even understand why that is.
I'll have to research that one.
Yeah.
It's like my brother-in-law, when he goes somewhere, he won't leave by the same door. He tries not to leave by the same door that he went in. I'll have to ask. And I remember one time he said, but it's an old one of those old superstitions.
But okay, my question to that is, and hopefully that don't sound bad, but how about that's the only door? How's he going to go out a different door?
When he's forced to, but if there's an option, he will go out a different door. Like
So he comes out
not in his house, not in the house so much, but like in a mall.
Okay. Oh,
he does not. He'll go in one door, and he won't go out the same door.
Wow.
Even if it's so, he tends to like park in the middle. And the funny thing is I catch myself doing that. I'll go in one door and come out the other.
So you caught on to his way of thinking on that. But see, but you know what, Barbara? Just to say that's what happens with all of us.
Right.
We caught on to something back when our parents said something or whatever. We heard a friend or whatever, and we just keep it going, and we never really understood or asked a question.
Why do we question it? Why are we doing it?
Yeah, we just say it.
Exactly.
And that's why now that you're getting these meanings, sometimes we have to be careful now. I mean, after you give me the meanings, I'm like, okay, that meant that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that anymore because I didn't even know it meant what it was.
Oh, there's
over the thing about the baby in the bathwater last week.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? I laughed. Some of them have made me laugh. Some of them that I have been researching, it's like I'm not going to even remotely share that because the origins of some of these terms were barbaric, and yet we use them. And so the words of our mouth are powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So without knowing it, we are putting negative things into our being.
Yes.
Without even knowing where it came from.
And then what's the lesson learned from this, Barbara? The lesson learned from this is we need to research or really see when we say things.
What are we saying?
What's the meaning of it? What's really the background meaning of it to make sure that we're being understood.
Right.
So yeah.
And so maybe I will share some of the negative ones because just in the spirit of don't use them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe share those so people have an awareness of that's what that means. I've been saying this for 50-some years.
Exactly. And some of them have been around for centuries.
Yeah, I know.
And yet they're barbaric. Of where the origin was.
Where the origin was, and we still use it.
And we're still using it.
To this day.
But one of the other ones that, like my dad was a Navy man.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of his things was show your true colors. What does that mean?
Basically, I said, just tell the truth.
Be your authentic self. That's how we think of it. Show, and yet it can be the opposite of it too, is that, this person has been, this way, and but now we've known him for 6 months. Now his true colors are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be negative or it can be positive.
Yeah.
But where did it come from? Well, it was a wartime way back in the sailing ships where they had to fly their flag of origin of the country. Well, if they were in a battle or if they were coming up, like especially the pirates, you see in the movies, they would only hoist the pirate flag right at the end where the other ship couldn't do anything about it. They're now lost. And it was like it was a strategic move, and because then you would hoist your flag high to see your true colors. Well, what if you were ill intent? So if your true colors, what are your true colors? What do you want to be known for? As a friend of mine says, Carol, she would, she taught runway models because she had a talented modeling agency. She would say to the young girls, her models, and say, okay, get dressed, put your makeup on. Before you leave your room, look in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I selling?
Mm.
What am I selling? What is my true colors right now? Do I want to have a, cut down to here,
Mm.
flashy kind of, whoa, look at me because I'm a sex goddess? Or do you want to be seen as a woman of worth and a woman of value and a woman who respects herself? That's
Yes.
your true colors.
That's your true
So
colors.
today, what are your true colors? What
Wow.
colors do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known as that you are kind and gentle and loving?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to be known for being witchy, being argumentative, being quick to take offense, to
Mm-hmm.
being angry? Are
Mm-hmm.
those, how do you want to be seen
Yes.
by the people around you?
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes back to what are your, what are your traits of yourself? What are your values? And you got to
Right.
look at all that. I always tell people, sometimes I ask people, I said, what are your traits? What are your values? And sometimes, Barbara, I get back, they be like, well, I don't know.
They don't know.
That they kind of go in this like, that's a question. That's a good question. And I'm
Right.
thinking to myself, this is about like you just said, what do you want to leave for
Right.
yourself to others that look at you?
Right.
You want to be honest, you want to be admirable, you
Right.
want to be, intentional in what you do. I mean, what are
Right.
the things that makes you?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our moments.
Well,
Like
yeah.
there are times when it was like, oh, Barbara, who, for me, who was that screaming Mimi that just ran by? We all have those moments.
Well,
But
yeah,
in
I had
general,
that screaming Mimi just yesterday, so I know what you're talking about.
exactly.
I was like,
Exactly.
I said, that was me?
Yeah, who was that?
That wasn't me.
But in general, what are your true colors?
What are your true colors? Well, you know what? We're going to go right into our true colors with this wonderful queen that's coming on, Jacqueline. I love her name because it's my middle name, like I said before. And she is a Cosmic Light Academy, helping people explore human potential, personal empowerment, and 21st century superpowers for real. For real, real.
She helps people get in touch with their true colors.
Yes.
What's your potential?
See, so we're just going right into this, flowing right into that. But before we bring on this wonderful queen, we want to make sure we make this wonderful sponsor shine a little bit. So let's help this sponsor, and then we'll get right into our queen, right?
Yay!
Here we go.
I don't know this song.
My body becomes like a cement. Oh my God.
That was the better one. The song is
Okay. Oh my God. It's like magic. Literally like magic.
Yay! Hello, queen.
Good morning, you goddesses.
Oh, I like that. So good morning, queen. I name all the ladies queen. So I always tell people way in advance, you're going to be hearing me saying that.
Okay, I used to be empress, but queen will work.
Oh, okay. So, hey, anything that's royalty and everything, that's what I believe in.
Right. You guys are amazing.
Welcome.
The show earlier was amazing, and I want to add something about the calendar thing. People forget to put follow-up time. So when they go to a conference, they have a meeting, they forget the follow-up time on their calendar, and it really overwhelms people because then they get stacked up and then they can't catch up with themselves.
That's good.
And then it becomes that, it's been 4 days since I've talked to them. And then it's been 5, and I can't talk to them now. So of course they don't. Yeah, I have follow-up on my calendar.
I have so many different careers. I had a Peak Potentials. I was a coach for them for 10 years. They get me a...
Yeah, I was Peak Potentials. I
They
think
said
that's
it's
how
all
we
in the follow-up,
originally
right?
met.
What?
They said it's all. They always say it's all in the follow-up when you're, working with somebody to make sure that they understand that you understand them, that you care, that you're following up with whatever you talked about. So
Well,
you're right, Jacqueline. You have
yeah,
to put
first
that on
you have to show up and then follow up.
and follow up, yeah, and then keep showing up as you're followed up. So wonderful. Yeah, I got to add it to my calendar. Good.
Yeah. And I love the stuff that you said about the cat and those stories. So powerful and fun.
Right, you know,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that Barb and I we talked about it. That just it's kind of morphed a little bit. Is that because this is the Time to Shine Happiness Show? Well, if we can't laugh, then we're missing something.
I had an internet trainer and he said, watch this. And he put a cat picture on a social media thing, and all of a sudden everything went crazy. He said, you put cats anywhere and everything goes crazy.
It goes viral. It does.
I know.
Yeah, but
Love those cat lovers.
Cats and chickens. Cats
and
chickens.
And sometimes babies.
I like the dolphins and the unicorns and the dragons.
This is what we're at in the world.
But you know, if you, I think for myself, I mean, I love watching shows where people laugh because it makes you, because even though you might not be feeling like you want to laugh right at that moment, it puts an endorphin in you, even if you yourself are not laughing. So that's, you know,
part of I teach people to, do unusual things like bend metal with their mind, and I use that lately as an intro to my intuition training programs. Barbara, you seem to be looking at things.
Wow.
And this is under 3 hours. People are able to do that. That's kindergarten. This is kindergarten bending. And like in the Matrix, there is no spoon. Actually, wait a minute. There is no spoon. It's a fork.
Wow.
Okay, and so this is kindergarten bending, and it's two-handed bending to begin with. And then, and this started as a research project with the space program. So this is high school bending, where we buckle the bowl of a spoon. You fold the bowl of a spoon in half. And literally, we're doing this now. Thank you to COVID shutdown. I started to do it on Zoom. And I said, I'll do it once as an experiment, because I thought it was the group energy, and it worked better with a certain number of people and more. And so, but years, talk about laughing, about it. And gosh, I have so much to share. I'm so excited. The PK party, PK is psychokinesis. Moving objects or impacting objects with your mind. And so, and I was known as a psychic trainer. I was trained to develop my intuition on a very rigorous scale. I ended up working with government with government agencies, training some people in the Secret Service and CIA and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and there was a group of us working in the, with the police and Los Angeles Police Department and Sheriff's Department. I chose to work on the missing children and missing people's cases and things. Other people worked on crime. So anyway, this bending stuff started as a research project for the space program. And Jack Houck was at the World Authority. He's passed on and asked me to continue the PK parties because we have so much fun. It's a party. And so I'm all over the place here. So anyway, he found me, I found him. He said, you'll like this. When I met Jack, he said, I'm sending men and women up into outer space, basically in a metal can. And I think it's important for me to understand how the mind might impact the metal. And I'm interested in what you're doing, teaching this psychic development, because I believe Beam Me Up Scotty is real in the future. And I think understanding some of the things that you're teaching in your classes, astral projection, seeing the aura, remote viewing, I think some of those, understanding those things might help us break whatever the code is to make that technology real. So and that was back in 1986, around 1984, 1986. I've been doing this a long time. So I went to his party. He tested me and did some stuff, and I continued to go and ended up helping him. And then he asked me to take over the program when he finally retired and then passed on in 2013. But he was amazing, and so there's a lot of science behind this, and then somebody in the around the late 1990s, somebody came up to me and said, "Are you using PK psychokinesis to teach people how to stick coins on the walls?" And I said, "What are you talking about? You're speaking English, but it makes no sense at all to me. What? Just, using PK to stick coins on the walls." And I go, "No, I don't know." And so she reaches in a donation jar, takes out a penny, and she goes on the wall, and she just holds it up to the wall. And most people can do this. Run energy through it, pull an energy, amplify it, imagine it, using your imagination, send the energy through the wall, commanding it to stick to the wall. So you take your hand off and it sticks to the wall. Oftentimes for seconds, minutes, and you can it's not glued. And sometimes, and the kids can do it, and it sticks up for months. So wait. So then about 3 years later, now I've went home, practiced for 3 months, and I'm now that's like normal to me.
She's going in and out. I know that's the internet.
But anyways, can you imagine when I was first talking to and first heard this? I had no concept of moving metal with my brain, with my mind.
That's what I'm saying. This is wild. I'm like, okay.
The thing is that when we are more open to potentials, this is where, the next level. So some people are looking at this going, this is woo-woo, or this is silliness. And yet it's the next level of wow, because science is science. And one of the things that I say, because I'm in the wellness space, science is now proving what we've been saying for 30 or 40 years. Science is now proving what Jacqueline has been saying for 30 or 40 years.
Just being aware of
why it works.
Right. Yeah. And then we started sticking flatware, forks and spoons to the walls. So gravity has changed. And I use that. And so what you said earlier about limitations, words that you must stop using is I can't and I'm not sure. Because if you believe you can, you will.
Yes.
I just found this in by my storage unit. My storage unit I picked up. I said, I can work with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's so true. It's like Henry Ford said, if you think you can and you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah. So I use that as a shock value, as an intro, but people leave this class, it's a 3-hour class, and they go, I can't believe it, and I did it, I can't believe it, and if I could do this, I can do anything. Because like doing the firewalk, if you can do this, but the firewalk is powerful, but to me, I did it a couple times, but it was very elusive. It was like a dream and it faded away. And then it was like, yeah, I did that.
You're right. That's how I feel. I did it.
When you hold this, when you have it there, it's a physical reminder of, oh, wow, I did it. And so I was talking about laughter. We use laughter yoga as you have to release the energy. So we use laughter yoga and we go, ha, repeat after me, ha, 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 ha. And all of a sudden the whole room is laughing. And that's kind of the release. So in my intuition training course, I've got a 10-week course and I've got a 6-month semi-private training because the Cosmic Light Academy that I'm starting is to train instructors at a very high level so that there's a certain quality of professionalism, and people need to be grounded. They need to feel safe while they're developing advanced levels of awareness. So I'm going to train the teachers to do what I do because that's how I was trained. So the laughter yoga, I was in an art gallery and I was going to do a PK party and I was promoting it and it was an opening and I got a little bored, so I started sticking coins on the walls. And this lady comes by and I'm, I said, and she goes, "What's that?" And I said, "Do you have a penny in your pocket?" Because I didn't want her to think that I stuck it or anything. I said, "You can do it." And I showed her how. And I said, "Do it." So she did it. She steps back and she goes, "Oh my God, that's amazing." And I said, "Yes, it is." And she looks at it. She looks at me. She goes, "How long will it stay up?" And I looked at it and I looked at her and I said, "Well, that depends." And then she goes, "I don't believe it." And it instantly dropped. And I said, "There's your answer."
Wow.
So
So Jacqueline, I'm curious now. So this is me now because this is where it's happening for me. So when you take the coin and you, like you said, the energy is coming from you. So you take the coin, just put it on the wall, and just that energy is just igniting into that wall.
Right,
So
right, right. It's not coming from you. It's coming through you. Okay, so you never want to drain yourself. And that's the difference between learning to do things and working with an instructor that knows energy. And I'm an expert in all types of phenomena. So as you breathe in, that's not your energy that you're giving, so that you're not getting drained, but you imagine energy coming through your crown and sending through your arms. So you just imagine energy as you could breathe in and imagine it breathing out through your hand, and you command it to stick. And the first time I did it, it stuck to my finger. I was holding it up. I go, "Stick, stick, stick." And then it was sticking to my finger, and we both laughed. And the other friend said, "You know better than that. You need to be specific. Stick to the wall, stick to the wall." And you don't have to press hard. You just hold the energy up and you actually imagine it going through the wall. Now, some people go, "You just can't stick it anywhere. You have to ask the wall, where do you want it stuck?" And other people go, "No, I can't stick it to flat paint. I have to have a glossy paint." And other people go, "I can't do it on paint at all. I have to have a wood surface." Everybody's got their own thing and their own technique. But if you keep experimenting, and I almost use the word trying, but I'm correcting myself because I listen and try. You can't, if you drop a pencil on the floor and I say, "Try to pick it up," you can't.
You can't.
You either do it or you don't do it. So, monitor yourself and listen to you. And anytime you say the word "try," "Oh, I'll try that." No, let me do it, and I'll attempt, and that might be a little bit better. But so languaging and having fun and 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 just loving yourself to know that you're on a journey and have fun in life. That's part of it.
Right.
wow. See, that's what I'm saying. You always, every day I'm learning something. That's amazing.
Did I answer your question?
As soon as I get off, I'm going to get a coin.
Yes. And you don't have to hold it really hard. You just hold enough energy to just hold it up and run the energy through and imagine it sticking there. And so your imagination is very, very powerful. And that's why I teach this, because if you can start to do this, and literally the metal melts, it gets warm and soft, and all of a sudden you have a window of 3 seconds to a minute where the molecules lose their structure, and you could just go like this and the spoon buckles. Now, to buckle the bowl of a spoon takes 400 to 800 pounds of pressure per square inch. Technically, it is physically not possible to do this. And you could just be flicking like this, and all of a sudden it goes. And that's high school bending. It's very practical because you can make a business card holder for yourself.
And the thing that I love about what Jacqueline is saying is that when we just allow it to come through, and it doesn't have to be bending spoons, it can be anything.
Yes.
If we allow ourselves to let the energy go through, because absolutely everything is energy. The chair that I am sitting on, the stool that I have my foot on, the blanket that's beside me, it's all energy.
The air that we're breathing, all of the molecules in our body, the cells in our body, we have so much power in our system, in the cells themselves, in our heart center. There's so many layers and layers of dimensions. So in my 10-week course, which is my basic thing that I'm training people to teach, we take people through the 5 senses, and I teach people how to visualize. A big problem that people have is a lot of people don't have difficulty visualizing, and you have all these pseudo gurus and teachers and things. They go, visualize this and visualize this, instead of using the word imagine, because most people can imagine. And then the other thing is, I don't visualize. Well, have you ever had a dream that you remembered in the morning? Yeah. Well, was it visual? Yeah. I guess I do visualize. Okay. So again, the I can't. So I have exercises that integrate the subconscious mind and teach people and open up those potentials. And I'm like an concierge to the universal app store. And the app store is the 21st century superpower app store of all kinds of abilities: seeing, tasting, touching, smelling, hearing, knowing, remote viewing, sending your mind to the past, to the future. Where are my keys? The dog picked up the thing and put them somewhere else. Can't find them. You remote view where the keys are and you find them automatically. And to know when you're getting delayed because you shouldn't be on the highway the normal time you leave, because you just missed an accident that happened right where you would have been. So sometimes the timing and the laughter yoga, the other day I was making a smoothie and I using the blender, and the top blew off and everything was all over everything, and what do you do when you're running late, and all of a sudden and your outfit is ruined, you got all this stuff? Do you cry, do you scream, or do you laugh?
I laugh.
I laugh. I trained myself. I used to get mad. And now it's like, I just get hysterical, like, like, okay, how do I deal with this? And this is pretty funny. Like, it's a slapstick thing, but that takes effort, training, and to react and respond in that way, and to have life just filled with joy and trust that there's always a reason for something, and it's always a good reason. And that's part of the training that I do, the integration, because it's not just phenomena skills, but it's how does it impact our life and the quality of our life. So that's really what it's all about.
Right. And that's absolutely the truth. Anything that we do impacts our life.
Yes.
So why not look for the things that are of higher vibration, the love, the joy, the peace, those kinds of things, because those are going to impact our lives. Not only our life, but the life of those around us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I just want to say your show is so delightful, and I'm sure it's impacting so many people in a powerful way. It's lovely, and I appreciate being on it.
Yeah, we are getting more views. Barb just shared with us this past week that we are going up. So
yes, people are viewing our show. But Jacqueline, I just want to ask, because of time, any last thoughts for the audience that you want to give?
Well, yeah, the mind is unbelievably powerful. And so to deal with doubt, fear, grief, anxiety, all of these things, if you take a few weeks, meditation, there so many gurus have different techniques there, and they all work. So taking a few minutes every day to be mindful, to move into your heart center, to just relax, breathe, and just be still and quiet, and the answers usually come as a result of your meditation, not necessarily in your meditation. So if people, can I give my website address?
It's right down below, just to let everybody know.
Oh, there it is.
Website.
Yeah, Intuition Power. There's a free gift there, and I encourage people to explore meditation, to watch the cycles, the new moon, the full moon, because those times are intensities. I've asked people in the police department and the fire department, they go, yes, Absolutely, new moon and full moon, there's the crazies come out and there's more accidents. It's technically true. So you want to really be centered, not go from fear, but take responsibility and use that time to be mindful, to meditate.
Uh-oh.
And that's how
Oh,
we started out the show. Set an intention of what you want to have. So I mean that was great. I mean, if we're gonna have technology issues, that's
what we're going to do. So with that, first of all, I know Jacqueline with internet and stuff, you know how technology is, but
right.
I just
We
want
love
to
technology when it works.
Yeah, we love tech. So I just want to thank Jacqueline for being on the show. Please, her website is below. Like she said, she has a free gift. You know, anybody likes something free. So make sure that you really go towards her website, see what she's about. And if it's something that's really drawing you, that she can help you. And I always ask people to do this. Just go and talk to Jacqueline. She's amazing. You know, I was like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get a coin as soon as I get off the show.
I'm gonna try this.
I'm gonna do this. But yeah, like you said, and one thing I just want to just leave with everybody that you said, Barbara, and Jacqueline said too, is making sure that you have to make that choice. You have to make the decision. Just like she said about you can either get mad, upset, or just laugh about it.
Yeah, or laugh.
And as you always say, Barbara, and I always put it to you, what is your tagline all the time?
You know, let's make happiness the norm rather than the exception.
Yes.
So it's absolutely so. But I cannot gonna forget. Got a big event coming up on Thursday. You know, for those of you that want to have the healthiest year ever, join us on Thursday night. And it is at teamzglobalzoom.com. It's a freebie. Come early. You can win prizes. We're going to be talking about all the things, you know, and even if you are, it doesn't matter where you are in your health journey. You might be just starting saying, hey, I'm already healthy. I'm really good because I'm young and I'm healthy and I'm strong. Okay. But now you want to stay that way. Other people that are older that, oh, well, I want to get back to that. Okay, come and learn. Come and learn the science that is now coming along, that it is absolutely amazing, the things that science has proven about how our brain works.
Just like Jacqueline said, yeah.
How our cells work. That's one of the things that you're going to be taught, that Kirsty is going to be talking about. And she's a world-renowned researcher, but she's going to be talking about when you're negative, the things in your brain, in your cells are like this. When you are positive, they're a wave. She's going to show you how it does it, why it does it, why your thoughts are so important. So
that's
my girlfriend
awesome.
Carol and I are hosting it. So just come, let us know that you, and then who invited you? The BBs.
The
Yes.
BBs. So with the BBs, we're gonna say we'll see you later. I don't want to say goodbye. We'll see you later.
We'll see you later
Next Tuesday. And thank you, Barbara, always being a wonderful co-host with me. And
thank you for doing this.
Like Barbara always says, you know, take a moment to smile for yourself and make somebody else smile in the process. See you next Tuesday.
Exactly. Bye, everybody.